What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of CTRL the Narrative. A little bit of a hiatus for us with Christmas. Wednesday fell on Christmas Day. And then last week, Carmelo Anthony's return to Madison Square Garden fell on a Wednesday, so nobody was going to be watching the show then. So I decided let's take a little 2-week break, recoup. Unfortunately, the Blazers have not been able to do the same. But we got hopefully a good show going today. We got my guy Jacob from Albany coming on. So Jacob, how you doing, bro?
I'm chilling.
Appreciate you taking the time out. He said he was tired
problem.
and he's pushing through it, and I told him talking Melo might give him a little bit of energy, so we'll see if that works. But why don't you tell the followers and everyone watching this kind of about your NBA fanhood? Who'd you grow up liking? How'd you get into Melo or the Knicks or just all that shit?
I actually became a Knicks fan before Melo. The Nate Robinson, Jamal Crawford days is where I stumbled upon the NBA. Pretty much the NBA as a total. Like I knew, obviously I knew Kobe, I knew LeBron, because their names are household names. And then I just got into the whole Nate Robinson because he was dunking on, everyone. He was blocking Yao Ming.
Yep.
Jamal was going for 40, 50 every other night. David Lee, a shout out to him.
The rebounder.
He was a great rebounder. All-star for the Knicks. After then I got into it, and then the whole Amari Stoudemire thing happened, and I was like, oh shit, the Knicks got someone like, because people forget Amari Stoudemire was an MVP candidate. Yep. Like that guy was going crazy. There were times where it was him, Steve Nash, or like Shaq or Kobe. Like he was in the mix, and then of course with Knicks luck, he comes to the Knicks and has one good year, and then he loses a leg basically.
Yep.
And then we're like, oh, hold up, we got this guy named Melo coming through? Oh, shit, we got Melo coming through with Amari Stoudemire. Because, see, at the time, we're like, oh, shit, Amari Stoudemire. Like, we weren't thinking, okay, he's going to get injured and all this bad shit was going to happen. We thought, oh, shit, we got Carmelo Anthony, Amari Stoudemire, two top 15, 20 players, I guess you want to say at the time.
For sure.
Melo was definitely top 10, in my opinion at least. And it just, at that time, the Knicks doing pretty decent, I decided to, which could be a bad thing, go and look at the Knicks history. And that's when I got really into studying just the whole NBA as a total, mostly just the Knicks. That start. And I started to discover how we went downhill. I just stuck through it, and I'm still a Knicks fan to this day, through all the bullshit, through all the Melo blaming, scapegoating, through the Phil Jackson deciding to trade the whole entire team after a 54-win season.
Yeah.
I'm just waiting for the Knicks to be good. I hope it's at least in my lifetime. That's all I gotta say.
I mean, they're decent over the past month since they fired fucking Fizdale.
Oh, yeah, Mike Miller's doing a great job. Yeah. He's actually using Julius Randle as how he should be using Julius Randle. Marcus Morris is the heart of that team.
Right.
He just went for 38, I believe, against the Clippers. That was a great game. We scored 45 points in the first quarter, which is tied the Knicks franchise record. And I'll be honest, I thought Fizdale was kind of being scapegoated just because... Just in the slight sense that the Knicks have so many players that aren't good but deserve minutes. We have like 14, 15 players on the team that deserve minutes.
Yeah. And
I was like, maybe it's just hard for him to incorporate everyone. And nope, I was wrong. Mike Miller's doing his thing. I feel bad for Trier, Alonzo Trier, not getting basically any minutes. The future holds what the future holds with the Knicks.
Word. So we could tell you're a Knicks fan. Have you been watching the Blazers at all, or not really?
Oh yeah. The Blazers actually have always been my second favorite team.
Really?
And that's just a coincidence that the boy Melo decided to go there. the
Yeah,
Trailblazers.
so all right,
were
so
like,
what are your thoughts on the Blazers as of late over like let's say the past 2 weeks? I think they lost 5 out of 6 or some shit like that. They're kind of just spiraling downwards. So, just overall thoughts on what's going on over there.
it's kind of more of the same. I mean, we get the Blazers go on this stretch where they're looking like they could get back into like decent playoff seeding, and then the switch flips and we go on a 3-4 game losing streak, or we win 2, lose another one.
Yeah.
I wouldn't even like. I feel bad for the Blazers because of all the injuries and obviously Melo being incorporated. It's just a lot for them. I feel like I wouldn't even blame it on Melo being incorporated. I think he's been incorporated decently at start, and then I don't know what happened. They decided to use him a little bit differently. I don't know if you noticed that.
Yeah, 100%.
I don't know where the Blazers go from here until they get Zach Collins and Jurkic back, and losing Rodney Hood was a big blow. I saw that
was an underrated blow.
Live.
Like people,
and I saw it. I knew it immediately as soon as I was like, oh no,
dude, that was
another player.
That was a huge fucking loss for them.
Rodney Hood has nights where he goes off for 20 plus.
Yeah,
he's a pretty decent defender. And
second best 3-point shooter in the league at the time.
Yeah.
But yeah, so you're like more upset for them than anything.
It's just disappointing.
Disappointing. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just disappointing. They don't have the talent. They don't have the players to show what they truly could be. Like right now, we still don't know how this Blazers team could have been Melo on the team. We have no idea. I mean, they just went to the Western Conference Finals last year.
Yeah.
So who knows if they have that exact same team incorporating Melo, maybe not getting rid of Harkless last year, maybe keeping him. Like, there's so many different possibilities, but you can't really look back on that. You got to see what you got now. Right. And there's a lot of learning to do.
Right. So you mentioned it a little bit, Hassan Whiteside. We mentioned how frustrating it was. Straight up, have you ever watched a more frustrating player than Hassan Whiteside?
I'm a Knicks fan, and I might have to say no. And the Knicks have had a lot of trash, bad players that have come and gone. But no,
why?
I don't think so.
What makes him so frustrating to you?
Like I said, he gets his stats. This man is averaging 16 and 13, and he's so ass. Like, I don't understand it. That's a skill. Like, that has to be like a record. Like, that deserves to be in some type of book, because no other player could be this like good and ass at the same exact time.
Yeah.
Like I said, he gets his points. He gets his boards. A little bit ago, he had like 9 blocks in that game. I forgot who that was against. And then he just turns the switch off once he gets those stats. He doesn't have the wanting to win mentality. He has the, I want to get my stats so I can get paid mentality.
Yep. And the reason I'm asking this is because we obviously watched J.R. Smith for a couple years in New York, who is one of the most frustrating players of all time, because he can look like a fucking all-star one night and a fucking certified scrub the next. So for me, I have never watched a player more frustrating than Whiteside. We were both Knicks fans. We've seen a lot of frustrating players in blue and orange, but I think the thing with Whiteside that makes him so fucking frustrating is he can be so good. If he kept that switch on, if he just stayed motivated, if he kept his head in the fucking game and didn't complain about every single call and just put effort into the game. He doesn't play like 40 minutes a night. He plays in the low 30s. I looked it up.
It's 29.2.
Is it 29?
Yes.
That's all right. Even better. And it's just so frustrating that like those 29 minutes you're out there, just keep your head in the game. And there's plays where this dude looks like nobody's going to be able to score in the paint. And then there's other plays where he's just like watching people run by him, and it's just like, what the fuck are you doing? And offensively, there's possessions where he's all over the fucking boards and, you know, tipping it in and doing all this shit and just causing havoc, and then other times where he's just like frustrated that he didn't get the ball when he had a power forward on him in the post or some shit. And it's just like, I don't know. The thing that's so frustrating is he can be so good if he just applied himself, and he applies himself sometimes. I don't know if it's for the stats. I think that might have something to do with it, but I don't know, man. It's just like whatever turns that switch on for him, they need to figure out what it is and just apply that shit the whole game.
100%. When he came out of nowhere in the league, from like, you know, playing like 8 minutes and then out of nowhere on the Miami Heat, we're like, holy shit, where the hell did this guy come from?
Yeah.
I was like, oh shit, this could be like a Dwight Howard situation where he gets 3 consecutive defensive player of the years. I genuinely thought that.
Yeah.
He was getting like 5+ blocks a night for like consecutive nights. And ever since he signed that extension in Miami, he's been just like this. When he was even in Miami, towards the end of his Miami stint, Miami fans were saying the exact same thing that Portland fans are saying right now. And I'd even say it's even worse right now in Portland.
All right, so besides the guys like Nurkic and Zach Collins and who else? Rodney Hood's not coming back. But besides injuries, if you could fix the Blazers, how would you do it? Like, where would you start? Would you trade? Would you sign? Would you fire? Like, what would be your kind of game plan to fixing this team?
I don't think Lillard and CJ is the way to go. Too many years of trying that. I think it's time to trade CJ McCollum. There's a Kevin Love out there that could be traded for. There's plenty of players that they could try to trade CJ for. But I don't honestly know who would want CJ. It'd be very interesting if that's the route that they would want to go. Another thing I would try to do is try to fix the rotations. I know I'm just very big into that, and I really believe that the rotations just need to be tweaked a little bit. Like you said, they are starting to do that, and there's not really been results for it. Yeah. So maybe that isn't really the route to go. I don't think trading, multiple people would be the way to go because there's already chemistry problems. You don't really want to. I think if they try to trade, more people, then it's just going to cause more getting used to than they're already trying to do.
Yeah.
Unless it was, a star or superstar that they got in return for CJ, maybe Anthony Simmons, even though I'm big on him. Not recently, but I'm big on him. It's a very tricky situation in Portland. I think they have like one of the trickiest situations in the league.
Yeah. I think I don't think it's CJ McCollum's fault that this is happening, but at the same time, even though they just got to the conference finals last year, I think that just like breaking them up, not even just to break them up, but to get something back for CJ, I think one of their biggest things that they're missing right now is a defensive-minded big. The only dude above 6'9" that they have on the court right now is Hassan Whiteside and the guy from the G League, but he's back and forth. So I feel like a dude who just comes in, protects the paint, he could fucking put back some dunks, go on the offensive glass like Whiteside does when he applies himself. I think that would be huge. I think they need some more guys that know their role because I feel like so many guys on the roster, they just look for their shot. Simons just looks for a shot. Lillard just looks for a shot. McCollum, Melo, Whiteside, it's not really team players. I get the whole isolation thing, and for people to blame isolation, that's the reason they suck. They're last in assists. That doesn't really matter because their offense isn't bad. Lillard can score, McCollum can score, Melo can score. It's just those role players. You can't have McCollum, Lillard, and Melo who are all fucking ISO players, and then Simons who, he could spot up three and shit like that, but he's also an ISO player. He likes doing that shit, so I feel like they're capped out with that shit. You can only do ISO so much, and especially when your three main guys, I'm putting Melo above Whiteside, are doing that. It's I don't know, I feel like they need some spot-up shooters. Gary Trent, mad frustrating. He's just very fucking inconsistent with his shot.
Oh, yeah.
They don't really have, shooters like that in terms of, supporting players around Lillard and Melo and them. So, I don't know. For me, if, they gave me the keys, it was all right, whatever you do, whatever you say will do. It would be to kind of see what the interest is with McCollum. Obviously, then I don't think they would get a superstar back or anything like that, but just like some decent fucking role players, a defensive-minded big, some shooters, and like some perimeter defenders, and kind of take it from there. Because I feel like the past couple years when, they've been a legit team in the West, like they've been contenders. They had CJ, Dame, and then just a bunch of role players. Like they didn't have a big third guy, and I don't know if Melo's a big third guy. I'd like to think that he is, but they don't really have those supporting players that kind of complement them. So, yeah.
Yeah, you kind of nailed it right on the head, man. Yeah, definitely perimeter defenders, I think, are very important. They definitely need them. CJ gets a little bit too much credit, in my opinion, for his defense. If you watch the games, he doesn't really put effort into his defense. Lillard, he'll stick you down if he really wants to. If he really wants to bust his ass and play defense, he will.
Yeah, he's not a bad defender.
Oh, yeah, he's not at all. I think people underestimate his defense. The thing with the big men, I mean, Nurkic, he was a great defender last year. He's not a shot blocker, but he's definitely a good defender. And he can get his boards. So besides him, obviously, you got the whole bench situation. There's really not really a bench. Like, there really isn't. And that's where I probably want to start. I don't know, Jamal Crawford's in the free. No, I'm just joking.
Dude, people have said that, though. Like,
hey, I mean, he wants to play, man. Who cares he's 40, you know what I'm saying?
He deserves a spot for sure. Shout out 100%. Jamal Crawford.
Oh, yeah, 100%. One top 5 favorite play of all time for me.
Really?
It's very... They have a lot to do. They're going to have to just ride out the season if they want to make any of those moves,
You think
it's not a no for me. I'll be happy with anything they do as long as they don't blow it up too much. Like I said, they don't want to cause more confusion in the locker room and more having to get to know each other, more people having to learn the playbooks.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're gonna have to just see what they do. It's gonna be very interesting to see, and then you got the whole summer. We don't even know where Melo's gonna be next summer. And yeah, we're just gonna have to take it a day at a time, to be honest. Oh my goodness.
As we know, Melo made his homecoming to Madison Square Garden last week. Dropped 26 points in a Blazers loss, but the crowd was just going fucking crazy for him. I was there. When the Blazers came out for the warm-ups, he got cheers. In the intros, he got cheers. When he touched the ball, he got cheers. When he made a shot, he got cheers. When he fucking sat down, he got cheers. Like, it was a love fest between New York and Melo. So
we want Melo chant at the end.
We want Melo at the end. So what do you think of the homecoming? Just what's your reaction?
It was beautiful. It was absolutely beautiful. I felt like it was 2013 again, and he was playing on the Knicks, and he was just wearing the wrong jersey. That's how I felt. I honestly wasn't even expecting him to put up those numbers. I was obviously wanting him to shoot that efficiently. But it happened, and it was awesome. Yeah, the cheer. Like, when he returned in OKC, he got cheered in the beginning, mixed with boos. And then once he touched the ball, and while he was playing, he was getting booed.
Yeah,
this was just all love. This was 100% all love. I think Knicks fans are starting to realize what Melo actually had to go through on a daily basis. I think Knicks fans are very arrogant at times. They're very just not understanding at times. A lot of them are casuals. And I think they discovered what his everyday life was for the Knicks, and now they're just happy that he's back in the league after this past 3 years of absolute chaos.
Yeah, I think the same thing. I think it was kind of a mix between fans not knowing what they had when he was here, and also just being genuinely happy for him that he's back in the league after the league fucked him, like everybody knows now that they did, because less than 2 weeks after he came back, he won Player of the Week. So kind of weird how some dude who couldn't play in the league for a year comes back and wins play. Anyway, yeah, dude, that shit was just fucking unbelievable. Like, I don't know if you remember, but that last season he was here, the fans were booing him and shit.
Oh yeah,
they were booing the whole team. Like, when Melo's at the free throw line, they were booing him. So just to see kind of what Knicks fans thought of him at that point, and then when he returned to OKC, it was a lot of cheers, some boos too, and then during the game it was boos mainly. But to go from there to the OKC game to like now last week where it's fucking nothing but love. And it's both ways. Like Melo after the game was talking about, his number being retired and all the shit about New York, and people forget, but there was a report that came out I think a month ago that said in the summer Melo was recruiting Kyrie and KD to come to the Knicks. Like, this dude's not even on the roster, and he's like, guys, let's go to the Knicks. And just for people not to like read that and be like, fuck Melo still. There's nobody who's like that anymore, because now they've seen what he meant to the organization, they've seen what he meant to the league, and kind of everything that he had to go through with the Phil Jackson shit, with the Houston Rockets shit, and it's just like fucking amazing to see him being appreciated like we kind of know he should.
Yeah, he's the guy, man. He really is.
He's the guy.
Like, pause, but like, he's the man, bro. Like, he never, like, people don't realize he wanted to retire as a Knick. He did not want to leave the Knicks. Towards the end of his Knicks stint, he was forced out of New York. There was a mixture, obviously the whole Phil situation where he was publicly saying that he didn't want Carmelo Anthony on the team, where he was tweeting little riddles on Twitter saying subliminal shots at Melo. I don't know if you remember that.
Of course.
He had how many different point guards did he have? How many different coaches did he have to go through every single season? How frustrating does it have to be to have this team that won 54 games that shouldn't have, that was the oldest team in the league at the time, and then out of nowhere, boom, one after another just leave, and he's just like, okay. And even with that, even with him leaving his prime, he didn't want to leave. He was like, okay, I'll try this whole rebuild thing. Maybe he's right. Maybe they know what they're doing. He was promised a lot that he wasn't given. He was promised players. He was promised different things to happen that he was obviously lied to. And he kept giving the Knicks chances and chances. And then towards the end of last year, what was that?
He wanted it to work. Like, that was the one thing he wanted more than anything, to win in fucking New York.
And no other superstar in NBA history has ever wanted that. No one's ever wanted to come to the most annoying media people in the whole entire NBA. No one wanted to come to no one's ever wanted to come to the New York Knicks on their will, not being drafted. So those people that bring up, well, Patrick Ewing wanted to, fuck off, he was drafted. Melo wanted to come, and he wanted to win, and he wanted all the pressure. He wanted to be the guy who had to take blame if he missed a game winner. He wanted to be the guy that had to carry the team on his back, which he did. He wanted it, and people don't like to give him the respect that he deserves. I mean, Melo, he never missed a playoff. He never missed the playoffs until Phil Jackson came.
Yep.
He made it every single year.
Not only of his Knicks, of his career, like in general.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. The whole entire career. Yeah. He in his rookie year, he dragged the Denver Nuggets to the Western playoffs and somehow didn't win Rookie of the Year because everyone was too busy sucking LeBron off. LeBron didn't make the. Okay, LeBron, would he average like 2 more assists? Like, okay, good for you. You didn't make the playoffs in the East, but you know what? Your boy Melo came in the West. And I could just go on forever about Melo. I could go off for another hour if I really wanted to, bro.
All right, so let's talk about this part of Melo. What do you think this season has done for him in terms of the rest of his career?
If he didn't get on a team this year, he would not be back in the NBA, I don't believe. I'm surprised he even had the strength and the heart to even be on the Blazers right now. I wasn't expecting him to come back. I obviously wanted him to with all my heart, but I honestly, I wouldn't blame him. I honestly wouldn't blame him. He was a league favorite. Like, it wasn't just he was good. He was like a league favorite. And out of nowhere, he gets on a team with his best friend and gets 10 games to prove what he's got, and then gets kicked out of nowhere. And then before that, you got OKC, where he wasn't utilized properly at all. And then obviously the ends of New York. But this season meant so much to Melo. He would not be in the league again if it wasn't for this season. But this season, I also believe, has a lot of pressure on him. he's got to put up some numbers, put up some more consistent stats if he wants to be on a team next year, which that's going to be a whole different situation if he doesn't get on another team next year. And I really hope he does want to continue playing, which I believe he does. I think he's got a few more years left, especially with his play style. He could play until he's 40 easily.
So that's my thing. You don't think he already kind of established that he belongs in the league?
He's told the whole media to suck his dick. Yeah, he belongs in the league. He's told everyone that he belongs in the league.
Yeah,
he won Player of the Week. Come on.
I think that he has already lengthened his career by, I want to say, if he wants to play another 2 years, he can, like, at the very minimum. But I just think, obviously, it's a great story and all this, Melo's back and everything, but he's extending his career. Like, he came back and he was balling the fuck out. Everyone's, it was against the Thunder, it was against the Bulls, all these teams. The Bulls are right outside the playoffs in the East. I don't care what the record is. The Thunder are like 8-2 in their last 10 games. So I think what people are missing out on is, like Melo said, this ain't a damn farewell tour. He's doing this shit, and teams next summer are going to be like, shit, all right, they didn't use him in OKC, right? Shit, all right. And in Houston, they fucked him over. Like, now people are starting to open their eyes, and now I feel like a contending team will be like, all right, this isn't as much of a risk as we thought it was going to be because this dude plays offense. He can still score. He is good on defense, no matter what people say. Like, if you watch the games, you'll see that he's a good defender.
He surprised me.
Yeah.
With his defense this year.
Like, he was never a bad defender, but, like, people just, again, it's the narrative around him. So just seeing him get, I think it was 5 straight games of 2+ steals and shit like that. Now teams next summer, I feel like no matter what happens for us the season, unless obviously he stinks it up, but I don't think that's going to happen, teams are going to see them and be like, all right, shit, if we need a scoring punch off the bench, if we need, a leadership guy, this isn't the risk that it was last summer, which I think is fucking huge just for the rest of his career.
Yeah, the whole, just to touch on a few points you made, just to start off, the whole defense thing. Listen, he's always a good on-ball defender. I just think he wasn't the best. He wasn't good at help defense at all. He was trash at that a few seasons. And the whole, he balled out against all the bad teams. What do you expect him to do? Not fucking do good against the bad teams?
Yeah.
I hate when people use that. Like, you're going against bad teams. Okay, so let me just play like shit because it's a bad team and only play good against the good teams. That shit makes no sense when people say that. Like, Melo haters or even the media, they need to realize how stupid they sound. It's crazy. That's crazy. The things you'll hear from certain people that you just want to laugh at. I'm very interested to see where Melo goes from here. Obviously, there's a whole season still ahead of us right now. Portland isn't counted out. They could still make the playoffs. It's like they're not that close, or they're not that far away. Excuse me. There's a lot to see. I don't know where he does go. I don't know if he wants to stay in Portland. I don't know if Portland even wants him. I think he's definitely put his name in dirt, saying that. I think he's proven himself that he deserves to be on a team now. I think he's already proven it. We could name 100 bums right now that are on teams getting paid $10+ million right now, and Melo is getting the minimum, and he just wants to play. And he's proven that he deserves to be in the league. After all this shit, I don't understand how he's that strong, to be honest. Even in Denver, he's gone through so much shit, and he still loves the game that much, and he's continued to show everyone that.
All right, Jacob, we're gonna play a game called Start Bench Cut. Played it a couple times on the show. We're going to give you an opportunity to play your own style of start, bench, cut. So tonight we have start one, bench one, cut one. CJ McCollum, Kent Bazemore, and Anthony Simons. You have to start one of these dudes, bench one of them, and cut one of them. Go.
As a recent play?
Just in general. No, not as of recent.
Okay. We're starting CJ. I understand it'd be funny to cut him or whatever. Come on, we're gonna start CJ. I thought about it. I was thinking about cutting him for just to laugh and just for the laughs, but no, we're gonna start him. And and I'm gonna bench Ken Bazemore. He's a pretty good defender, in my opinion, and the only thing that I hate him for is just his inconsistent offense. And the only reason I did not put Anthony Simmons there is because he's just raw. He's very young. He's still figuring out his place in the league. He's still deciding if he wants to be a shooting point guard or a pass first point guard. He has a lot of time to show himself, and I feel in a couple of years he could be pretty decent. He could be a starter on a team. Who knows? Anything can happen in the NBA.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to go with the same lineup as you. Unfortunately, I thought about benching CJ just to bench him because he fucking pisses me off, and he takes shots away from Melo, and he doesn't look Melo's way, and like intentionally
ball
neglects
for like 20 seconds.
Yeah, like intentionally neglects Melo, so that kind of pisses me off. But yeah, Bazemore is another guy like who just is very frustrating. I don't even think his offense is inconsistent. I just think he doesn't really have one. He could hit shots here and there, but he's never gonna be relied on as that guy. And he gets almost as many fucking shots as Carmelo Anthony, which is, to me, is absolutely insane. Like, the past few nights, he's gotten, like, 2 less shots than Melo. And I don't understand how that happens when you're this, what's it called? When you're this shorted in your roster, when you have this many fucking players and everything. So, yeah, it's frustrating.
Yeah, Portland needs everything they can get.
Yeah.
So they should be kind of throwing the ball to Melo even when they're losing. Just get him some, you know what I'm saying? Like, there's no reason to be giving the ball to players that shouldn't get it. They should, like I said, they need to have their own game. They need to fix their game plan, their rotations. There's just something off. It just feels like there's just something off. Yeah. I understand the injuries. Let's get that out of our heads. But there's just something just doesn't seem right with the Blazers. And I don't know what it is. I really can't. I don't know what I can't pick what it could be.
All right, Jacob. So we reached the end of the show, end of the podcast, and we always like to give our guests an opportunity to come on and just control the narrative about whatever it is that they think the narrative needs to be controlled around. So I'm going to ask you, what do you kind of want to control the narrative about tonight?
I just want people to give Carmelo Anthony his respect. I think people forget how dominant and not even just like how good, but his impact on the league. He needs his respect just through all the heart that he's given to the league. He's given everything to this league through all the bullshit, through all the good times, bad times. We understand that he doesn't have an NBA championship. We understand that he's only been in the conference finals once. But there's so much behind that people just don't understand unless you really get into it, or you were around to see it. He gets the biggest. I don't think he's the most overhated, underrated NBA player of all time. 110%. I don't want to hear, the same thing happened to AI. No, it didn't. You don't know what you're talking about. It was way different. He just since a rookie, you're not LeBron. You're not D-Wade. Okay, you made it to the West. What are you gonna do? Oh, you lost, huh? What are you gonna do next year? You're not gonna make the playoffs. Makes the playoffs. He doesn't get the respect. He does all this shit. He's never gotten a team where he's even had a chance. The only thing I could think of is that year with AI, but AI was not giving it his all at all. That if you were watching, he wasn't at all. He wasn't invested into it like he was in Philly. And then I guess the 2013 Knicks, but our average age was like 32 that year. Yeah. We had an old ass Jason Kidd. We had Tyson Chandler who got injured. We got J.R. Smith who was injury prone at the time, which a lot of people don't even realize. Iman Shumpert, I came off an Achilles tear the year before. ACL. And then Yamari Stoudemire punching a fire extinguisher. Do any other players have to deal with a teammate that's supposed to be your second cornerstone on the team that punches a fire extinguisher because you lose? No other, and you're blaming Melo for that? Come on, bro. Don't get me started, bro. I'll punch a wall right now, and I'll still play tomorrow's game.
So you just want people to give Melo his respect?
100%. I don't want people to judge him past on the last 3 seasons. Since social media has gone skyrocket and gotten so popular, it's so easy to make fun of Carmelo Anthony.
Yep.
And it's not right.
Yep. All right, Jacob. Well, appreciate you taking the time out and talking some Melo, Blazers, and some Knicks. Appreciate the time, and hopefully we'll be seeing you on Instagram soon in the comment section, telling these
Oh
fucking
yeah, every
idiots.
day, every time.
Word, bro. Appreciate it. See you soon.
Yeah, I'll talk to you soon, bro.
Later, bro.